Hi, welcome back to my BookTube channel. This is Bekah's Bookshelves and I am Bekah. This video is my July TBR. July? What? How on earth is it July already? This is just ridiculous. Yeah, I can't believe we're so far in the year. I think that I have had a really great first half of 2020, reading wise, obviously not, with the whole world ending and stuff. And I hope that yours has gone the same. So at the start of 2020, I decided that I would have this kind of mini goal for myself every month to read 4 books off, all of these. And there's even more that you can't see just off screen here, and every single one, apart from a few here, all these are just unread books that I was interested in, that I really wanted to read, and I've bought and put them on a shelf and then just never touched them since. So I was like, right, if I can read one a week physical, I'm never gonna get this down because I'm still buying books. But at least I'm getting through some of the books that I've already bought instead of keep buying new ones every month. And I'm pretty sure in June I didn't actually achieve that goal, and that's the first month that I haven't done. But July, I was like, do you know what? I need to get back on it, and I'd bought some new books in June that I was like, I really just need to read them before they end up like this, just being stored basically. So I'm going to start with this absolute beauty of a book, and it's Horror Store. This came out, I want to say it was round about September, October time last year, because I went birthday shopping in October, mid-October, and this was on the shelves and I was really tempted, but it wasn't an author that I'd heard of and I just wasn't sure, and it just seemed like a lot of money at the time. But now I read my first Grada Hendricks book in June, and obviously I'll tell you all about it in my June wrap up, but I did love it. So I immediately went and bought this one and another book of his. So I can't wait to read this. His writing was fantastic in the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I'm hoping this is just as good. So basically this is a zombie fiction set in an IKEA type store, and this I just can't stop looking at this book. It's just incredible. Look at that. So the cover looks like an IKEA catalogue. Obviously that's like a post-apocalyptic IKEA catalogue, but it's not just the cover. Look, you've got like a plan of the store and the departments they have, and let's see what's on this one. Just about all the different type of furniture they do, and then we've got order forms, and then each chapter starts off with a piece of furniture like this and an explanation of the furniture, and then that piece of furniture or that department of the store features in that chapter, so like this is about the Brooker sofa, and the Brooker sofa is part of the plot line in the first chapter. I'm trying to not tell you about it, and then like at the end, so you'll see like each chapter the whole way through a different item that they sell in store, and I can't wait to see how they all tie into this story. And then at the end it goes back to being the catalogue again, and you've got like vouchers and thanks for shopping with us, blah blah blah, and it's such a unique, and I think it's a wonderful idea. So yeah, and I'm just zombies, it's zombies, isn't it? And me and zombies, we're like PB&J, we go together. So yeah, I'm super, super excited about that. But then I also bought, at the same time, My Best Friend's Exorcism. Blur. My Best Friend's Exorcism. Now, I have not even read the synopsis of this book. All I know is supernatural, horror. I think it's set in the 80s-ish. And Grady Hendrix. And this awesome cover that is made to look like a VHS case. I mean, what is it with Grady and these amazing covers? I don't know. So I don't even know really what happens. Let's see. High school sophomores Abby and Gretchen have been best friends since 4th grade, but after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act different. She's moody, she's irritable, and bizarre incidents keep happening whenever she's nearby. Abby's investigation leads her to some startling discoveries, and by the time their story reaches its terrifying conclusion, the fate of Abby and Gretchen will be determined by a single question. Is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? Whoa. I've heard really good things about this, and I'm not even going to think about it too much. I'm just going to get on with it, and hopefully I'll love it. So, I decided, so over the past few months, I've kind of had very mixed months, where like, I've read some really crappy books, and then I've read some great books. And I decided, like, if there's all these and thousands more, like I own Kindle books as well and audiobooks and that. There's all these books that I want to be reading. Why am I reading things that I'm just not that massively interested in just because somebody else has said they enjoyed it? So I've decided to kind of make more of an effort to read books that I feel like I will absolutely love. So my favourite genre is horror, particularly the subgenre of post-apocalyptic, zombies, that kind of stuff. I love dystopian. So I'm leaning heavily towards that kind of aspect of books this month. And to continue with my love of zombies, I am going to be reading World War Z by Max Brooks. Now I know, if any of you read zombie fiction out there, you'll be thinking, what the hell? You bang on about zombies all the time. You say you love them, but you've never read World War Z? What? Like, this is one of the most iconic books within that subgenre. And I've owned it for ages. I've watched the film, which normally I will only watch the films after I've read the books. But when I watched the film, when it first came out, I didn't know there was a book. Now I do. So I am finally going to read this. And what's nice is that I will be picturing Brad Pitt as the character all the way through, because he is amazing in that film. Right, and then, sticking with horror, I am going to read The Institute by Stephen King. Now this book I purchased literally as soon as it was released last year. It was, again, when I was doing my birthday book shopping, and I paid £20 for this gorgeous, I'm just trying to get the sticker off, it really annoys me when they put stickers on the covers. So I paid 20 whole English pounds for this beautiful hardback Stephen King book. And once again, I may shock you lovely viewers in saying that I have never, ever, ever read a Stephen King book before. Actually, no, that's a lie. I read Elevation, but I don't think that's horror. In fact, that just needed destroying as soon as it had been written. I really did not enjoy that. So I thought it was about time that this horror fan should read something from the King of Horror. And this one kind of, again, it's one of those where didn't really massively look into it before buying it or before deciding I was going to read it. It's something about some children. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know. Some kids in an institute and something freaky is happening. That's all I can tell you. But it just looks good. And I just thought, I've got to start somewhere with Stephen King, so give it a go. Although, actually, how many pages is that? Oh, 485. I have noticed that Stephen King's books are like proper chunkers. And then I have got a couple of arcs that are in the kind of dark thriller genre this month, and the first one is called Secrets of a Serial Killer by Rosie Walker. Now, this one is basically, there's a serial killer that has been terrorising an area for decades, like really much longer than any person should have been able to do, as in biologically, you know, like age wise. So there's kind of talks of is this serial killer passing on his craft, his trade, whatever you want to call it, to younger potential serial killers for them to carry on this kind of ritual killing that's been happening. And you know, nobody can figure out what's going on. And there's been investigations and still nobody's ever been caught. But then one of the mothers in that area, who's one of the main characters, her daughter goes missing. It says she's been kidnapped by this serial killer. I don't know how they know for definite. So then she kind of gets involved in trying to figure out what is going on. She starts doing her own investigation into things in the hopes of saving her daughter. So that sounds quite on the edge of your seat type thriller. And then the other one, again, is about a serial killer, and it's called The Resident by David Jackson. And there's this serial killer, and he is hiding out to stay away from everybody because obviously he doesn't want to get caught, and he finds an abandoned house which is on the end of a terrace, like a row of houses. So in the UK we had these like rows of terraced houses that were all attached, and back when they were first built, the attics were all connected. Sometimes there was like actual walls separating but with a doorway in. Sometimes they just had a small opening in the brick wall, and sometimes there wasn't even the wall at all. The attics just went the whole way down the row of houses. So basically he finds an abandoned house in one of these types of rows of houses. So all the attics are connected, and he discovers that he can get into other people's houses that way. And what he starts doing is, I guess you would call it gaslighting. He starts psychologically messing with the residents of the other houses, and he actually finds that he enjoys that more than just killing people. And then he discovers that some of the people who are now his neighbours, I guess, in those houses, they've got some very dark secrets of their own that they're trying to keep hidden. So they're like quite reluctant to get police involved. And then the next arc is a book where the publisher actually reached out to me on Instagram and said that she follows me, and the author that she's representing follows me, and they've seen that these are sort of the types of books because that I review, you know, with the sci-fi and horror and stuff. So I agreed to review this book, and it's called Adrian's Awakening, and that is by Mindy Shoneman. I think I've pronounced that correct. I'm really sorry if I haven't. Now this is going to be part of a duology, and it's kind of YA supernatural type paranormal sci-fi thing. So basically, Adrienne is 20 years old, and she's not quite happy with the job she's got, with the relationship she's in. You know, she's not quite sure where her life is going. And suddenly, one day, she finds out that she's actually part of a long line of mind readers. However, her telepathic abilities haven't set in at this point. She just gets told that they will, you know, she's part of this. And before she can even kind of, you know, get her head around what's going on and accept this, you know, these abilities and this world she now finds herself in, suddenly she's thrust into this kind of long-running war of good versus evil, and she's having to, you know, just get stuck in basically and help good try and, you know, defeat evil. And yeah, it sounds interesting. I think it could go either very wrong or very good, depending on the execution of this plot. And then I'm going completely off track, out of genre, everything, and I'm going to be reading an arc called Just a Girl by Scarlett Jones. Now, this is, I'm sure many people know what I'm talking about, like the child abuse memoirs type thing, where somebody has written a memoir years later about the abuse they suffered during childhood, how, you know, it kind of tore their life apart, the damage it did. But then, you know, hopefully, as most of them do, everything kind of, I can't say it turns out all, you know, bloody unicorns and glitter and rainbows, because they've still had this happen to them. But these people who write the memoirs, they tend to be very strong individuals who have managed to find this courage to stand up to their abusers and to kind of, you know, rebuild their lives and try and heal. And this one is specifically about sexual abuse. So it probably is going to be quite a hard read. They always are. But I always find it so incredible that some people can go through things like this and come out the other end. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. And then the last one I'm going to be reading this month is called Raising a Rare Girl, and that's by Heather Lanier. And this is the memoir of a mother who she did everything right during pregnancy. You know, she ate healthy, she exercised, she went to all the appointments for checks. You know, she was just a super mum. You know, she wanted the best for a child, give them the best chances. Unfortunately, when she gave birth, her daughter had a very rare syndrome, and it's called Wolf. I'm gonna have to read this one because I just can't. Wolff-Hirschhorn. And basically this meant that her daughter had very significant developmental delays, and she would have a very limited life expectancy. And I'm not sure, because I don't know much about this syndrome, but I'm not sure if there's also some kind of physical disabilities as well. And with most of these quite life-limiting significant syndromes, there's quite often other physical ailments that are, you know, the more susceptible to, or that they are linked to. So she's kind of written this memoir about her life raising a child with such a rare syndrome and the difficulties of that, and how even the basics of every day as a parent of a baby, you know, they're difficult, aren't they? If you're a parent, you know this, it's like, it's chaos at the beginning. But this woman, not only did she have this new baby, she had a baby that had significant problems. And so it's about her kind of day-to-day struggle of raising this little girl. But what I get from reading the synopsis of this book is kind of this, you know, embrace yourself, embrace life, be thankful for what you do have, and, you know, don't let things get you down, don't let things kind of stop you and break down those walls. And so I'm hoping that, even though obviously it's going to be, you know, there's going to be some heartbreaking times in this book, but I'm hoping there's also going to be, you know, some uplifting moments, and by the end of it, there's you know, that you walk away with like this sense of hope and, you know, this appreciation of life. So that is all the books that I am initially planning on reading in July. That's 9 books total. I know I always read roughly 18, 19, 20 books. I have no idea what they might be yet, but quite often the, you know, like a YA contemporary kind of audiobook. But yeah, I'm going to try for quality, not quantity, this month and see how it goes. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like if you did like, and I will see you all next time. Bye.